Good morning. I'm Andrew Tripodi, your news anchor for today, and over the past week, Paris has become the epicenter of chaos as massive protests and mobs of angry revolutionaries flood the street, voicing their growing hatred for King Louis Philippe, the so-called Citizen King. It has been 18 years since Louis Philippe ascended the throne after his distant cousin, King Charles X, fled to England during the July Revolution. At the time, he promised a more liberal monarchy, but what we have been seeing instead is a regime that caters around the wealthy elite while ignoring the needs of the people. Now, discontent has reached a breaking point. What we are observing is a tidal wave of support from the working class, the peasants, and even parts of the middle class, all united and under their fight to end political exclusion, crushing social equality, economic hardship, and above all, a corrupt government that has failed to address their cries for change. Reports from the streets describe barricades going up, clashes with soldiers, and a growing sense that this is no ordinary protest. It is a revolution. Our correspondent, Ariana, is live at the heart of the action and has just secured an exclusive one-on-one interview with the revolutionary leader. Ariana, over to you.
Thank you, Andrew. I'm here today at the heart of Paris, where tensions are at an all-time high. Just behind me, barricades have been erected as people are gathering in defiance of King Louis Philippe's government. The air is thick with smoke from burning debris, and chants of Vive la République echo through the streets as people demand change. The revolutionaries here are just not for fighting for themselves, but for a vision of a France that values equality, justice, and the voice of their people. They believe the monarchy has failed to address their needs, and the time for reform is long overdue. I'm able to speak with one of the revolutionaries on the front lines, a worker who has taken up the cause with passion and determination. Let's hear directly from them about why they're risking their lives in this fight for freedom.
Yes, my name is Allison, and I'm here because we've suffered under this so-called Citizen King for far too long. For 18 years, King Louis Philippe has promised reforms, but all we've seen is the rich growing richer while the rest of us starve. I'm a factory worker, and like so many others, I can barely afford to feed my family. The cost of bread keeps rising, and jobs are harder to come by. We work ourselves to the bone, but we have no voice, no vote, and no hope under this corrupt government. We want universal suffrage, so every man, rich or poor, can have a say in how this country is run. We want fair wages, better working conditions, and an end to the greed that has ruled this monarchy. Most of all, we want a republic, a government that serves the people, not just the wealthy few. But we know the risks. Many of us may not survive this fight, but we'd rather die fighting for freedom and equality rather than live another day under oppression. The barricades are our stand, and we won't back down until we see justice.
Thank you, Ali, for sharing your powerful story. It is clear that the pain and frustration of the working class have fueled this movement, and your words echo the sentiments of so many here in Paris. Although not everyone agrees with revolutionaries, there are those who believe that this uprising will bring more chaos than change, and that Louis Philippe's monarchy, despite its flaws, is the best hope for stability. To get a full picture of this conflict, I'm now going to speak with someone who stands against this revolution. Let's hear their perspective.
You call for liberty, equality, and vanity. But do you know what that truly means? The monarchy has given us stability and peace, and now you wish to tear it all down. The revolution promises freedom, but it will only bring chaos and bloodshed. Without the structure of our society, where will we be? A nation in disarray? No leadership? No guidance? You say you fight for the people, but you will destroy the very foundation that protects them. You speak of equality, but what will it cost? The cost is our future, our strength, our unity. Without order, without the monarchy, we will have nothing. Do not let your reckless ideals turn France into a nation of chaos. The revolution will not bring freedom, but madness.
Thank you, Katie, for sharing your perspective on the revolution. While the aristocracy's concerns about chaos and instability are certainly valid, many believe the revolution represents the people's desire for freedom and equality. Only time will tell which vision will shape the future of France. Back to you, Andrew.
Thank you, Ayana, for that insightful report. It's clear that the tensions are running high as the revolution continues to gain momentum, with both sides presenting compelling arguments. As we await further developments, it remains to be seen whether the aspirations of the revolutionaries will prevail or if the fears of the aristocracy will come to pass. Stay tuned as we continue to cover this historic moment. Now, let's take a break before returning to the story.